Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This one's going to be the first in this style, really. It's something I would like to be able to do more. It's just a matter of obtaining more to be able to do such. I do have a few other photo albums aside from this one, but I'll probably space this out a little bit more, so just to keep the content on the channel a little bit more diverse. So this is a World War II era German photo album. This isn't the most crazy photo album. Like, I've seen some where it's just almost all photographs from the front and things like that. I don't personally own any like that. This appears to be probably photos taken by or from the perspective of a wife or a sister or somebody in the family. And one of the members is in the Luftwaffe. So this mostly ranges from the early 30s into the late 30s. Nothing really after that. It's not a complete album. Well, I'll put it like this. There are a few photographs missing from it, and what I mean by incomplete is in the sense that it doesn't go all the way to the back. So anyways, let's dive into it. This will be a mostly quiet video. If there's something I feel worth mentioning or commentary on, we'll do that, but otherwise this is just going to kind of be a take a look at it and see what we have. It just kind of puts you into the perspective of that time, the era, things that they saw, things that they found interesting, and that's kind of why I like these photo albums a lot. It would be awesome to own one album that does show a lot of the stuff from the front, but if you're familiar with the pricing on photo albums that are complete, it's just absolutely crazy how much some of those can go for. Rightfully so. I mean, it's very interesting, and historically it's awesome. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. That's enough talk for now. I will say it is fairly interesting that most of the photographs are labeled. That is very unique. Not many albums that I've seen, I shouldn't say not many. Not every album that I see is labeled or has as much labeling as this one does. So that helps add to the context of those who weren't there. I guess I'll have to kind of do a little side, going back and forth between the sides, just because of how long it is. It's hard to get everything in the shot otherwise. So here we can see a lot of photographs of a girl. You know, I'll let you guys just take a look at it. I won't comment on everything, that'll just take longer. If there's something you find interesting in this album, just timestamp it, and if you want, I can either do a separate video or just like a community post on the photograph with whatever information I can find on it. I will say here, though, so you can see here 1933 and then in 1936. So we're in the very early 30s, and for 1933, the beginning of the Third Reich. So kind of interesting as far as that goes. Is that in shot? It is. Summer of 1929, so we even go back before the Third Reich. Kind of interesting, too, how it jumps around. I'm not sure when they, put the album together, but they had photos before this of 1936, and now we're in 1929, so kind of interesting. Sorry, I have to keep reaching across like that. I don't really know a better way to do it other than do a separate video and put them all together for the whole of a video. I guess I can do that on one of the other albums where I take a more in-depth look at each individual photo. So Essen by night, very cool to see the factory and its glowing lights. I thought that was really unique and kind of interesting. The fountain is beautiful. So here we have a blank page, a little spacing in between. A lot of shots of nature in various buildings and other locations. I think a lot of that's very neat. Sometimes you'll see online the people doing then and now photographs. Someday I think that would be really cool if I was able to do something like that with some of these photographs. Not particularly these, but just photographs in my collection. I find that very interesting. Oh, the schöne Schau... if I could say it right. Oh, the schöne Sauerland. Very pretty. few more photos from 1935. Back to 1936 over here. So like I said, kind of interesting at the beginning. There's some photos from 1936, and then towards the middle there's more. It's not really in order. Some romantic photos. I suppose they must have been on some sort of day trip or something. Very interesting though. It would have been nice if somebody had like their full name in here so you could try and do some research on at least like the soldier end or, you know, some of these people. Cute dog and some horses. Oof, this page is pretty damaged. I don't usually like opening them this much. I usually try and keep the book folded up to here. But this is a one-time thing. I'll only do this once. Grün ist die Heide. Oh, sorry about the glare. I hope that wasn't happening on all these photos. I just noticed that on this one because of the lighting. I wanted to try and record this during the day, but I didn't have a chance. I thought this one was really interesting. Mein Terrarium, my terrarium, you know, nowadays we still make terrariums and things like that, but it's interesting to know that in the 30s that people were still doing this. So I thought that was really unique and pretty cool. I'm really not sure when terrariums became a popular thing or whatever, but very cool, very cool. This is a very, oh, okay, there we go. I suppose this is a World War I monument. I hadn't really researched it prior to this. That's one of the things with these old photographs, so you always learn more, either about locations or people or things like that. I do really enjoy. And where I was saying that about complete photo albums, it seems unfortunately some sellers take certain photographs and pull them from them and whatever. So far, there's only 2 photographs missing. I imagine that these just fell out over time, at least in this case. I think it's a real shame when sellers do break apart albums like that, or lots of photos, because you're taking away from the potential story that could be told. So usually if I see a seller that does that, I try to avoid it unless it's something very particular to my collection that I feel that I can't get without. But yeah, I really don't support the idea of taking photo albums apart and doing that. But anyway. Back in the Sauerland. Still so far, you know, we're almost through the photo album and there's no photographs of a soldier or anything like that. So it's really not, like I said, a military photo album. But it gives you an idea as to what life was like for these people in that era. Things that they found unique and interesting, like I said before, very, very cool. Here you can see the party flag up hanging high. Can't quite tell offhand what the other flag is. Let me just pull this closer for a moment. Sorry. It might just be 2 party flags. I can't tell offhand. I can take a magnifying glass and take another look at that. Here I can tell, though, that those are 2 soldiers in uniform. So this is the first look we have of soldiers or things related to the Third Reich here in the album. More scenes from nature. Again, 1936, 6th of September, 1936. So, oh, sorry. Trying to keep everything as best I can in shot and without glare. So hopefully this doesn't turn out to be a bust. But if this is the kind of content you guys enjoy, or if you have any recommendations for the next video, if you'd rather see it a little bit more professionally, you know, I'll just zoom in on one page, clip that as a video, zoom in on another page, clip that as a video. I can do it like that too. It doesn't have to be this, you know, kind of read-along thing like this. Photographs from inside of a store. My Home, Christmas 1936. Very cute Christmas tree with the little pine cones on it and all that. Oh, okay. So here we do have a loose photograph. I will try and get that. Well, I guess there's only one. Well, it's already out, so there's only one thing that holds it here, so I'll try and keep it in place like that. The other section like that, the adhesive has come off. Easter 1937. Interesting too, you can see this photo here without me going too crazy far back. It's the photograph of the woman with the fur jacket, or not fur jacket, I'm sorry, the fur coat. There she is again. So kind of interesting. You can see that they made 2 copies of it, at least. There's the big photograph there, and then here again. Another blank page. Another blank page. And I believe we're getting almost to the end here. Try. I'm guessing this is closer to the harvest season, given that clothing. You can see he's wearing the lederhosen, traditional clothing. So this is the first shot of somebody in home that we have wearing a military uniform, and you can see that, you know, it's the Luftwaffe uniform. He holds rank, playing at the chess table, so I'm not sure. Maybe it took until later on for the person to enlist or whatever, but very interesting that now we start to see some photographs. And then here we have the same photograph. It's a copy. Oh, come on now. As here, it was a duplicate. I imagine, I'm not sure because it doesn't really fit here unless it was sideways, and even then it doesn't really fit, so I'm not sure. But it came with it. It was loose when I got it. But here we can see him again reading some kind of newspaper or magazine, book, something to that effect, looking with somebody else in the family. But yeah, that's pretty much it here. It ends with the photographs of somebody in the Luftwaffe at home. And then the rest, oh, I'm sorry. And then there's some photographs of empty rooms inside the house. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there, and there's no more writing. It doesn't say who anybody is, and it doesn't say, I mean, you can see that as well, but just kind of interesting. So, one of the many things that'll remain a mystery, and we'll have no idea for the rest of our time, but interesting to see it. I definitely enjoy looking at these old photo albums. It's something I enjoy collecting. I certainly enjoy collecting individual photographs, and I was thinking about doing kind of like analyzing historical photographs in my collection, some of them maybe more related to the vehicles or uniform details that I see, maybe men with certain awards, things like that. The more photo albums I get, the more I can do videos like this, so that is something I keep an eye out for. Certain ones will be more interesting than others. But like I said, they all have their own stories to tell. So if this is something you guys really like to see, I have at least 2 more albums. And then if I run out of those, I can also do photograph groupings. While they're not in an album, they are all one grouping from someone somewhere, depending on which set it is. So anyways, guys, this is all I have for this video. If you enjoyed, well, thanks for watching. If not, I'll catch you guys next time on a different style video, and hopefully you enjoy that. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.